Welcome back to Cossy Arsenal Podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is our starting 11. Arsenal take on Man City this weekend. Big game, absolutely big game. Oh, people have told me not to call it the most important game of the campaign, and I'll definitely say it's not the most important because it's match day 8. Definitely, we have 30 more games to go after this one, but it's a very important one, guys. It's a very, very important game. It's huge because Arsenal Man City is now the new Arsenal Manchester United. We are now the big boys. Man City are the big boys. Man United are not at the level Arsenal are at the moment. So I don't think Arsenal Man United is as important as Arsenal Man City. It's still a big game. It's still a big fixture, I tell you, in Africa, but it's not as important as this game. If Arsenal win this game, they go on top of the Premier League, and if Man City beat Arsenal, they will go 4 points clear of Arsenal, right? So that is how important the game is, and that is how always interesting and always full of action this game is gonna be. But the big question is, with the injuries we have and with a couple of changes that Mikel Arteta could make this weekend, who exactly needs to start and what should be the starting 11? SAKA could be available. That's a very, very big hint I've given you there, and I'm going to play him in my starting 11 unless otherwise. Declan Rice and Thomas Partey for me should be playing in this game. For me, listen, it's a game that Man City literally dominate midfield-wise. It's a game that Man City always try to bully us in midfield. If you have Partey and Declan Rice and they don't have Rodri, it's a chance for us to dominate the game. It's a chance for us to dominate the midfield, right? So we're going to be diving into what I think about the changes and the fixture as well. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. Let's get into it, right? So in goal, again, there's always the debate, right? David Raya had a horrific night in Lens, like a catastrophic error. And that is why I don't think David Raya is going to be dropped in this game, by the way. So what we've seen with Mikel Arteta is when a player makes a mistake, when a player actually causes a catastrophe, he encourages him by giving him the next game. And he has also tried to reward players that have done well by giving them full 90 minutes or even a start as well. But with David Raya, I would love him to start in this game because Man City literally know how we play. Man City literally know they have the leaflet, they have the book that Arsenal are using for tactics, right? And that book is a cut and copy of Pep Guardiola's tactics. Literally, we are trying to change a few things here and there. David Raya would be giving us an option that Manchester City do not know about. So they know how Ramsdale plays, they can prepare for Aaron Ramsdale, but they don't know really how Raya fits into Arsenal. They don't know. We've not played them with David Raya, and I'd love to see them surprised. I'd love to see them surprised by Arsenal. David Raya is one of the players that can actually, surprise Manchester City. But then also, I don't think he's a bad goalkeeper, guys. I don't think he's a bad goalkeeper. I'm sorry about the player ratings last time. I was really angry. I thought we should have won that game against Lens, and I wasn't really objective with the players. But I think he's a good goalkeeper. He's a quality goalkeeper. There's no question about that. I would love to see him again in this game. I would love to see him start over Ramsdale. Like I said, I want to see that continuity. I love to see that I want to see that, pattern where a goalkeeper can play 10 games consecutive, can play 20 games consecutive, because it creates confidence and it also creates good communication and a good rapport between a goalkeeper and his centre backs and his defenders and the rest of the team as well. So Raya is the better goalkeeper we have at Arsenal, and therefore he starts against Manchester City. Well, at centre back, no changes, right? No changes at centre back. I would love to see Saliba. I still want to see Gabriel. Now, these two are culprits, and they should be blamed for the 2 goals we conceded against El Wahi. And when you concede 2 goals from El Wahi, he's not a Premier League striker. He is a French League 1 striker that is talented and on form. You have Erling Haaland, scored 8 goals in 7 games for Manchester City this campaign. He can score every type of a goal. A header, a tap-in, a shot. He's literally the real definition of goal scoring robotization. So what I would say here is Gabriel has got to be spot on. Saliba has got to be spot on with his concentration. Erling Haaland cannot go away. And look, we've seen it already. We've already seen it against Manchester City in the Community Shield. I was about to say Community Sheffield game. Saliba was brilliant, really brilliant against Haaland. He didn't allow him turn. He didn't allow him spin in behind. And Man City, whatever attempts they had to find Erling Haaland were absolutely futile. In that game, Erling Haaland had only 9 shots on goal. Right? Actually, 9 touches, not 9 shots, but 9 touches in the whole game. And that shows you Saliba was the better guy. He's going to have to be the better guy as well. But we've got a problem to take care of. What's the problem? That problem is Julian Alvarez. His boy is on fire. He's actually doing all the things right. He's all doing, things that are, glaring to the manager. He's telling the manager, I've got to start ahead of Erling Haaland. If we don't start together, then I have to start ahead of him. He's scoring goals, he's impacting games, and he's a much more flexible player as compared to Erling Haaland. That means that Gabriel has got to be on top of his game because, Alvarez can beat you 1v1. He can score outside the penalty area. He can assist, he can run, he can counter, he can do everything you want in a center forward. So I'd love to see Gabriel and Saliba be on their best evenings. I would love to see Gabriel and Saliba play the best football of their lives in this game. Well, at right back, I'm going to go with Ben White. I would love to see Tommy, right? I would really love to see Tommy. But my problem with Tommy is the times when you play him in these positions and he disappoints. And I'm not saying if we play him in this game, he will actually or definitely disappoint. But I would just prefer Arsenal to play Benjamin White. He's had a very good start to the campaign. He's been more solid as compared to last campaign. He's been more solid as compared to when he had just come in. I think he can take on players 1v1 and he's not afraid to face players 1v1 and at times even win the ball. Now, he's got his problems defensively at times when players take him on and then keeps on dragging them and allowing them to, space into the penalty area, inviting them to shoot. I don't like that. But I would love to see him start in this game because he's the better right back this campaign and we need to put our best team out there. The players going to be playing, I think it will be Jeremy Doku rather than Jack Grealish. But whether it's Jack Grealish, whether it's Jeremy Doku, he's going to be playing against elite levels, top levels, right? Jeremy Doku, speed, lightning quick. He's absolutely lightning quick. But then he's got the skill as well, and he's got a goal in him, like we saw over the weekend. Not really over the weekend, but over midweek when he was actually scoring against RB Leipzig, right? On the right-hand side, let's go with on the left-hand side, let's go with Alexander Zinchenko. This one is a risky bet. Because when you play Zinchenko and Ben White, you're going to be exploited defensively. But the reason why I've gone with Zinchenko and Ben White is I prefer us to play a stronger midfield, and I prefer Arsenal to go with a more sophisticated midfield, very, very pragmatic midfield selection. So with Zinchenko, we all know what Arsenal get out of him. You won't create chances without Zini on the pitch. You will not progress the ball well without Alexander Zinchenko on the pitch. He's the best ball progressor Arsenal have behind Martin Odegaard. So if you want to have that dominance and make that dominance count, Alexander Zinchenko has got to start in this game, and I would love him to start. No questions here, no problems here. Alexander Zinchenko to start at left back. Probably questions to be asked, especially if he can play 90 minutes in this game. I don't think he should play 90 minutes in this game. I would say play him at 7 until 70. If Arsenal have a 1-0 lead, get him out, bring in Kivio, bring in Tomiyasu, get the team defensively going. So in midfield, I would love to see a double pivot for the very, 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 very first time this campaign, like a serious double pivot. That's what I mean. I'd love to see Declan Rice alongside Thomas Partey. And Thomas Partey is going to be a huge boost in this game. Him coming back before this game means that Arsenal have been given a 1.5% advantage of winning this game or even picking up a draw. What Partey will do and what Rice will do is going to be very different. And it's going to be very, very different, in and out of position. Partey, as we know, is more calm and loves to distribute the ball as a center of as a center axis. So he loves to sit and kind of just distribute the ball around. What you have with Declan Rice is a ball dribbler, but also an interceptor. And I think you will need both players. You will need both qualities at their best when you're going to beat Man City or if you're going to beat Manchester City. But also the double pivot guys helps us defensively. So it means that on the left-hand side, Rice can actually help out with Zinchenko, and on the right-hand side, Partey can actually help up with Benjamin White. It will be good. What I don't want to see is Partey starting at right back, Benjamin White shifting across, and Gabriel out of the team. I don't want to see that, and Mikel should not make that mistake. It should be Partey and Rice in midfield, and we should drop one player of the two attacking midfielders. Of course, we will compensate somehow. But again, if you played Rice and Partey, it means that when you're in possession, Alexander Zinchenko can then jump ahead of Rice and ahead of Partey, and then he can become the Kai Havertz and Granit Xhaka. We've always said, can't he play there? Can't he play in the left number 8? Well, this could be one of those games where he's encouraged to go further forward and is encouraged to become the second number 8 in that box midfield of Rice, Partey, Zinchenko, and Martin Odegaard. Box midfield. We always love the box midfield. Right, let's get into the number 10, which is should we play Fabio Vieira or Martin Odegaard? I thought about it. Odegaard, good in big games. Like, I don't even have any problems with him. But Fabio Vieira, his creativity this campaign has been really enhanced and boosted, and I'd love to see him start in this game. However, there are things you don't risk. You don't risk not playing your captain. Like, that is one thing you don't do. You can do all the things, but your captain has got to start. Your captain has got to play a big role when you're going away. Sorry, not going away, but when you're going against the biggest of the teams and the best of the rest. And with Odegaard, he needs to start scoring in these games. So he scored against Man United, but then he disappeared against Tottenham. How about if you score against City, against Chelsea, and against Liverpool? Because he's got the ability to score those goals, and he's got the ability to actually do that. I trust him. He's one of my most trusted players as an Arsenal fan, and I won't be surprised if Odegaard really has a good game, but I still won't be surprised if one of Fabio Vieira or one of Zinchenko has a much better game than Odegaard. But I'd love to see him in that kind of number 10 role, just to tell him, you are the creator, right? Just to show him that you are the creator. And I would love to see him a little bit more central, especially now that Saka is injured and can be easily taken out of the game. I would love to see Odegaard more central, especially drifting towards the left-hand side, where we'll have options and we'll have much fresher players. On the left-hand side, Leandro Trossard. Okay, Leandro Trossard. Trossard didn't have a good game in midweek. But we know Trossard has got the quality. And in this game, you require quality, right? Don't you? You really require quality. You need players that can play at the top level, but also need players that can play under pressure, and you will need players that can, take on quality versus quality, top versus top. So Trossard will be taking on Kyle Walker. That's a bad guy. Like, Kyle Walker is one of the players that you cannot beat in the Premier League. He's really strong. He's press resistant. He's he's dribble resistant as well. This guy is so good. But Leandro Trossard, for me, he can actually give us a very good outlet and a very good option in that game. Because he loves drifting inside, so that means that even if he doesn't try to beat Kyle Walker 1v1, he can actually drift inside, play those balls inside, and then receive the return ball as he enters the penalty area. Good at doing that as well. The striker definitely is Gabriel Jesus. I don't want to see Edin Ketia in this game. He's missed a couple of chances against Man City. And if Mikel doesn't really learn from those games, then I don't know when he will learn. I don't know what he will actually learn from. And lastly, it's Bukayo Saka. I asked you, do we risk him? Do we play him? And most of you told me, you've got to play him. He's our most important player. You've got to play him. And I tell you what, I agree. You've got to play Saka. You've got to play Saka. You've got to combine them. You've got to combine him with Ben White and Odegaard. They're a recipe for a very good performance. So Saka, for me, I think he will be all right, and I expect to see him on Sunday. That is my starting 11. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast, and let's talk in the match preview, press conference reaction, combined 11, and some of the big injury news when I get it.